Joining me today for our final interview on emergency lighting is Dick Adam with Whelen Engineering. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice
Now,
to be here.
How long have you been with Whelen?
I've been with them now 15 years.
And what do you do for the company?
I am in OEM sales, which entails me calling on the OEM manufacturers of ambulances, fire trucks, also doing some investigative work on problems and that sort of thing.
How long has Whelen been in business?
Whelen was founded in 1953 by George Whelan and his wife. They started out in a double-car garage in the Deep River, Connecticut area, and it grew from there. Basically, he started out making emergency lighting or lighting for aircraft in the strobe area, and then, of course, that branched out into other areas and to what it is today. It is a privately held company owned by the only heir to the Whelen company, which is, he's known as George Sonny Whelen. He takes a semi-active part in our company, but the main driving force of our company today is John F. Olson, who is CEO and president of the company, and he answers to a board of directors.
Good. Today we want to talk about LED technology because that's the current state of the art. If you could just give our viewers a little background on how the industry arrived at the LEDs, what technologies maybe were competing with it and didn't win out, and what came before, the halogens, the strobes.
Okay. Basically, years ago, and I've been in the business for 40 years, it started out with the old 1157, if you will, incandescent bulb. That was around for years. Whelen Engineering was one of the few companies that investigated strobe and then, of course, developed strobe, and for a long time was one of the few that ever made strobe and actually marketed strobe, because we knew that that technology was effective in particular weather conditions. Other manufacturers fought us against that, tried to sell against it, but as we all well know, that strobe technology did come on very strong. Halogen was right in there. That was the next step, I guess, from incandescent, a little bit brighter, and that worked well, but again, consumption of current was a main drawback.
Sure.
So strobe fit that because on a 4 amp draw bulb, it's competing against strobe with greater light output at a 2.5 amp draw, for instance. So that was still not good enough. LEDs have been around for years and years, long before your time, and I barely saw it in my young years, but it's been on TVs, it's computer monitors, but no one ever really realized the value of that. So with the units that are being made today, especially ambulances, current draw is a tremendous thing that they have to look at, because you can only get so much output from alternators. Alternators produce heat, or the engine produces heat, which lowers the output of alternators, and people don't realize that. So current draw is a very, very big consideration in not just the EMS field, but law enforcement.
Sure.
Not so much in the fire industry, because generally speaking they've got room to put the big alternators on, but it's still definitely a concern. So that's where we went to. We were one of the first to take a look at it. We played with it. We were disappointed, but with disappointment, I guess, comes good things, and we're where we're at today. So we're about in the probably sixth or seventh, maybe eighth generation of LED. And by that I mean we started out with a LED in a particular configuration, and then that evolved into what we have today. But to get there, you got to do things in steps. And then when you look back at it, you say, well, why didn't we do that to start with? Well, why didn't we do a lot of the technology that we have available on, for instance, automobiles today? Why didn't we do that back 15, 20 years ago? Well,
hindsight's always 20/20.
That's correct. That's correct.
What sort of innovations are we going to see in the next 3 to 5 years in the lighting industry?
You know, that's a very interesting question, Laura. Everybody's asking that. They're amazed with what's been done with the LED technology to date, and they keep wondering, well, what's to come? What's going to happen? I think that basically in the LED technology, you'll continue to see improvements. At this point, what is coming next? That's a very tough question. I don't think we know at this point. We know some things that we would like to see. There are still some voids in the LED product line that we, as well as our competitors, do not have, that we certainly wish that we did have. And maybe just around the corner, that's going to happen. And that's in the white LED interior light area, that sort of thing. Everybody's begging for that, and they just can't understand why can't we do that.
Not anxiously awaiting.
And so I think that's some of the things that we'll look forward to, above and beyond refining what we have today. There's certainly room for improvement in anything that you do, and we certainly look to that. If new technology appears on the horizon, we will certainly take a look at it, as we have in the past, and we are committed to bring the most up-to-date, effective technology to the marketplace, and we will continue to do that.
You bet.